Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to Oliveboard. My name is Utkarsh Singh, and I welcome you all to this particular lecture where we are going to discuss about the general economy, banking awareness related questions which were asked in the last year for the Indian Overseas Local Bank Officer examination, and what has to be the strategy. We'll do a proper analysis also that what are the important areas that we are required to focus. I believe I'm audible. Let me just so voice is clear and the video is also clear. We can move ahead. So that is the topic that we are going to cover. General awareness, economy, financial, banking awareness, any type of question, static GK, all the questions which came in, IOB LBO 25. There were two shifts in which the examinations were being conducted and different questions were being asked. It was reported, as far as I can remember, one of the shift was rather easier. I believe the morning shift was, the first shift was rather difficult. The second shift was rather easier. Comparatively, it was much, the questions which were asked were much easier. Correct? So we cannot be certain that what happens, which shift has a tougher paper, which shift will have the more lenient paper. But anyhow, out of the total 74 questions that were being reported by the candidates who appeared in the examination for the last turn, we have kept 54 questions. The remaining 20 questions we have not added here. Reason being because candidates were not able to recall them completely. They were even either mentioning one word or certain fact related to it. So it is difficult to recreate the entire question from the last year from those few keywords of the questions. Okay? So rather what we'll be doing, we'll be focusing upon those questions which we are 100% certain about that were being asked in the last year. So 54 such questions are there, and we'll do a proper analysis also, which areas you have to prefer. The strategy portion we'll discuss first, and then we'll focus upon the previous year paper. If you have not already joined the Telegram community of Oliveboard Banking General Awareness channel, this is the link. You can scan the QR code to directly be the part of the channel and the community, or you can use this particular username also. Go in the Telegram, search Banking GA Current Affairs Oliveboard. All the latest updates, notification, vacancies, at times quizzes and poll, all the latest videos that we shoot are already uploaded and notified on the channel. So it's an important group. You have to be part of it. Correct. Another thing that I'll like to add before I begin with the session is regarding the new feature that we have added in the banking super elite batches. That is a practice kit. You know, multiple times every session may we basically discuss about it for a few seconds. It is basically a venue where students can find different subject, different topic, and then after selecting the topic they can practice according to the level that is required for the examination. If you are preparing for the PO prelims, you can take this particular level. If you are preparing for clerk prelim, you will need a separate type of question, nature, difficulty, etc. will be different. So based upon the level you are practicing, the questions are uploaded, which is not present anywhere else. Most of the other institute, what they do, same questions being served in 1,000 different batches which are being launched in a year. We do not believe in that particular thing because every examination come up with a particular challenge. So banking practice kit is now integral part of banking super elite batches, along with Bolt magazine, along with F2F session, direct grooming session, mentorship session with the faculties. Now let us do a subjective analysis of the areas which were asked. So you can see as something which is true for most of the examination, nearly 42.5% of the questions were related to banking, financial, economic awareness. So this is a broader area. Banking related questions will be there. Certain static question which can be asked about the SLR, CRR, CRR, correct? PSL mandates, etc. There can be general awareness static questions also. And there can be questions which are related to the banking sector, economics, finance, or business, which are in current affair. So we have added both of them. Out of 54 questions that we have compiled, at least 42.6% questions were related to this particular area. And out of the total 80 questions which were asked in both the shift, it is estimated that nearly 47% of the questions were from this particular area. So if you consolidate your expertise in these two areas, the static information about the banking awareness, the banking GK, plus your current affair, है ना? If you are in our paid batches, we have 2 sessions for banking, financial, economic and business classes and 2 sessions for RBI circular. If you master these 4 sessions, along with the 25 classes that you get for the banking awareness, you will be able to crack 50% of the question. And most of the examination may the good score is around 50% only. 50% is a great score if you are aiming or achieving it. Apart from that, government scheme. Static schemes were not very much asked in this examination, the previous scheme of 2015, 16, 17, etc. Newer schemes were mostly asked in the examination, as we have seen. Initiative, reports, portals, application, launch, these type of questions were also there. At least 10% of the question, 10 to 12% of the question were related to the government scheme, government report, government initiative, portals, platform, application. Everything is compiled in this particular segment. So that is the weightage. At the third position, we have news related to national, international, state affair. For example, Prime Minister has won this 33rd award, 34th international award, 35th award, correct? UAE and India has upgraded their bilateral tie relationship. These type of international. Or for example, Gujarat ke andar mein the Pithora art has been notified at the GI tag. Ginger mission has been started in one part of Northeast. Mission Queen Pineapple has started in Tripura. These are state related updates. Okay? National update can also be there. Delimitation bill can be there. Parliament ke andar mein this important decision has been taken. Correct? So national related news can also be there. All right. Regime change, government change, etc. TVK has won the election in Tamil Nadu for that matter. So these type of questions are often related to polity, national updates, state affairs, international. They also comprise 7 to 10%. We do not have the entire list of 80 questions. So we can have a broader idea that 7 to 10% questions will be from this particular segment. After that, science, technology and defense, they are not very much asked, but for some reason, IOB has asked good amount of question from the defense portion and SNT portion. Okay. Most of the examination it is around 5% benchmark. Here it was more than 7%. And probably if the missing questions also had significant amount of SNT and defense question, probably the number will be around 8%. So we are keeping in mind 8% of the question from this particular portion. Environment, climate, ecology related question. This particular new species has been discovered. Lizard species has been discovered from this particular part. A3 has discovered this. Geological Survey of India has discovered that. Correct? New reserves has been found in this particular area. Mission Tiger, Cat, etc. has been started. All right. So these type of environment, climate, ecology related news questions are also there, which were also significantly present. Mostly these type of questions will be static. 50% will be dynamic portion. Rankings, indices. For example, happiness index के अंदर में India reached this particular place. Henley's passport index के अंदर में India has reached this particular scale. GSC index में India has reached this particular. World pollution, airport ranking, है ना? So rankings, indices, all these type of updates, World Bank update, report, etc. There were at least 5.5%, 3 to 4 questions which were being asked from this particular portion as well. Important day observances. Events, important events also is included in this particular category. Awards, honors, sports, etc. related. For example, question was asked on Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli Virat Kohli is placed at which number as far as the leading run scorer in the ODI is concerned? Sachin Tendulkar is at the top position. At what position Virat Kohli is there? It was probably being asked in the international cricket. Correct? So we only have more than 2 questions are not asked from these particular category. Books, author, sports, awards, honor, obituaries, important days, event, etc. From these areas, there will be only one or two questions will be asked. So your priority has to be, you have to prioritize only these 3 particular section. This has to be your first priority. Banking, financial, economy, business related updates, current affair, and also the static. If you are only reading the current affair of the banking portion, it is of no use. The examiner is going to ask what is the latest mandate for the priority sector lending for the, let's suppose, small finance bank. Correct? So in that case, what you will be answering? So that is why I'm saying that focus upon these facts as well. Static awareness should also be there. So this was our analysis. More or less, the same line will be repeated. The first 3 topics are mostly the dominant in most of the one-day examination. Whether it is your any clerk, PO or any examination, these 3 are the topmost asked question. After that, in some examination, report ranking can come above this science, technology, defense. In some examination, it will be down. So that from the other topics, there will be only minimum of 1 to maximum of 5 questions being asked. predominantly 60% of the 70% of the paper will come from this three area. So prioritize these area. Now let us see what exact questions were being asked. Some of the question we might not be aware about the correct answer because they are current affair from the last year. ठीक है, लास्ट ईयर का किसी को नहीं ध्यान रहता उतना, बट दोज वी आर अवेयर वी कैन डिस्कस दैट. Under the CC, Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commissioner Act, who serve as the chairperson of the selection committee for appointing the election commissioner in India. So this was something very much in debate, and today also as we are discussing, this is something very debate. Till the time period, in the earlier days, it was usually entire thing decided by the government only. Okay? Appointment of the panelists were from the side of the government only. Under the recent changes made under the NDA government, current government, what has happened? One prime minister will be the member. Okay? Then the leader of opposition is also the member, and third will be a member who will be designated by the government, a union minister. Okay, na? They will also be part of it. So it is a 3-member committee, and the chairperson of the committee is basically the prime minister. Recently, this is undergoing a challenge or a hearing in the Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court has also said that in a democratic country, how you can have this particular thing, that election commissioner who significantly wield the position is elected by unanimous without any hindrance from the cabinet or from the union government. Because the vote of the opposition is only one, vote of the people in government, it is two. So in anyhow, even if the leader of opposition or the opposition is not ready, the person will be elected as the election commissioner. So the response of the government was that we can trust the prime minister as far as these decisions are concerned. We can trust the prime minister with the democracy. Although it is a little, you can say, ambiguous statement, because in a parliamentary democracy, everybody will want to win the election. So it is not a threat to the country. It is basically about the election process. Second question was basically about, one thing I need to mention it here. The question that we are discussing, they were not asked exactly in this form. The things that were being asked, we have already highlighted them. We have tried to reconstruct the question because, for example, you are giving the examination, first shift or second shift. After that, when you connect with us, connect with the mentors or the teachers, and you tell sir or ma'am, this particular question was being asked, you are not able to recall the entire question. You only say election of election commissioner question has been asked. Correct? Question related to double BSL was being asked. So I have tried to reconstruct it, rephrase it. It was not asked in this particular manner. I've tried to frame a question related to the keywords that were being discussed by the students. What is the primary mandate or objective of the BBSSL, Bharatiya Bij Sahkari Samiti Limited? Basically, it is the triple P model, procurement, protection, है ना, all these things, it is for them. Seed का जो procurement है, safety है, everything is the objective or the mandate of the Bharatiya Bij Sahkari Samiti Limited. Next question is asking, historic Shulgan Tash Cave, or which is also called as Kapua Cave, it is a upper Paleolithic cave with cave paintings of mammoth. In which country it is located? Probably it must have been in news last year. So it was basically being asked. Correct answer, as far as I can recall, it is Russia. I'm not 100% sure it is Russia or Ukraine. I think it is Russia. Upper Paleolithic was the entire cultural antiquity is divided into 3 age system. Okay? Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. Stone Age is divided into lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic. Correct? After that, there is Mesolithic, and then we have Neolithic. This is the entire. And then we have Metal Age, where Bronze Age is there. Before that, Copper Age is there, and then Iron Age is there. So it is asking about upper Paleolithic, a time period which elapsed from 16,000 to around 18,000 years. That is the time period of upper Paleolithic. It is one of the period of the Stone Age. Correct? Next is, what total outlay was approved by the Union Cabinet for the incentive scheme to promote low value Bhim UPI and RuPay credit card transaction? The amount was nearly 1,500 crore. It was reduced from the previous cycles where it was around 2,500 or 600 crore. Correct? Next is, following the consolidation phase at streamlining rural bank infrastructure and the one state, one RRB policy, what is the total number of RRB currently which are operational in India? This question was also being asked. 43 is the number, I think. You can check it again, but I think it is 43. So apart from that, for the UCBs, question was asked, what is the priority sector lending mandate? So priority sector lending mandate for the UCB and SFB have been modified by the RBI to 60%. Earlier it was 75% for RRB, for the SFB, Small Finance Bank, and also for the Urban Cooperative Bank. It has been modified to 60% for the SFBs and the UCBs. It is still 75% for the RRBs. I hope you are aware with the entire classification of the banks. This classification of the banks in India are divided into two categories, the scheduled banks and the non-scheduled banks. Scheduled banks are divided into two basic categories. In fact, there can be three categories also. This is a PSB, Public Sector Bank, Private Sector Bank, and the RRBs, correct? Now, there is another category which is called as differentiated bank, and there is another category which is called as AIFI or DFI, that is Development Financial Institution. Under this category, banks like NABARD, banks like Exim, SIDBI, all right, and National Housing Bank, they all come under this particular category. All right. Non-scheduled banks which are not present in the second schedule of the RBI Act of 1934, they are called as non-scheduled bank. They have a lot of leniency as far as the regulation is concerned. Differentiated bank के अंदर में there are two broad categories. One is the small finance bank and the other is the payment bank. Payment bank, it is not licensed to carry out the lending business. It cannot lend money. Credit card also they cannot issue. SFB can do a lot of things, but the mandate for SFB is 75% earlier. Now it has been reduced or modified to the 60%. Which committee has recommended these RRBs and SFBs? Narsimham committee, and for SFBs it is Nachiket More committee of 2013. Correct? So this question was also being asked in the examination. Moving ahead, under the, yes, this was the page. What is the maximum monthly loading, reloading limit permitted RBI for the small prepaid payment instruments? 10,000 is the limit. I hope you are aware about total yearly 1,20,000 is there. I hope you are aware about the PPIs. PPIs include all the digital wallet, etc., where you store the money, you load the money, and then you can transact in the later time period. It is one of the function of the Reserve Bank of India. It is one of the sovereign function of the Reserve Bank of India to regulate and set guidelines for the PPIs also in the country. Correct? Next is, in which year and city was the historic Indus Water Treaty? Whenever India has a repercussion or India has any type of conflict with Pakistan, one thing that is always in news is the Indus Water Treaty. India has turned off the water. India has stopped the supply. So it is almost entirely in news whenever there is a conflict. If you can correctly remember, after Diwali of last year, 25, beginning, I think around New Year and the beginning of the 2026, India and Pakistan, they were in conflict with each other. So that must have been the context. Past year, we were in conflict for multiple times. Operation Sindoor was also there. So Indus Water Treaty, as far as I can recall, it was September 1960. Nehru Sahab was the Prime Minister for India, and place was, I think, Karachi, if I'm not mistaken. Karachi must be the place. You can cross check it, but as far as I can recall, it is Karachi only. Year, though, I'm sure it was 1960. Next is, which special planning web portal was launched to the Ministry Panchayati Raj to facilitate GIS? Multiple portals were being launched in the last year. Exactly, it is difficult to recognize which one they are asking in that particular year. Okay. Next question they are asking, in bilateral defense and strategic initiative between India and United States, what does the letter T stand in the Indus XDTTI cooperation framework? T is the technology. T is the technology in this particular framework. Question number 11. According to the data released by Ministry of Mines, again it was a current affair related question. Which mineral recorded highest percentage? In the recent year, I think bauxite, which is the iron ore, has been the highest. That is also a previous year current affair related question. Now it is related to economy only. All right, economy only. Next is, under the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. This is a question related from the scheme portion. As we have said, around 12%, minimum 12% questions were there from the scheme. It can be more than that also, because out of 80 questions, we are discussing 54. So around, I think, 26 questions are missing. If out of those 26 questions, even 4 to 5 were there, so the entire trajectory will revolve. Basically, in the examination, you will find at least 10 to 15% question from the scheme. So PM Surya Ghar Bijli Muft Yojana, I hope you are aware, it is for the solar sector, where on the 1 gigawatt, 2 gigawatt, 3 gigawatt and above 3 gigawatt connection, you basically get subsidy of 30,000, 60,000 and 78,000. Above 3 gigawatt if you are taking, then also you get only 78,000. Correct? National target for solar, I hope you are aware. National target for solar, no, sorry, target not, current potential as far as the solar is concerned is above 160 gigawatt. 160 gigawatt. And recently, I think few days ago, we have read in the newspaper, although I have not covered it in the weekly or the monthly current affairs, but as far as we have, I have read it somewhere, I think the overall portfolio of India for the renewable energy has exceeded 300 gigawatt. Our target for 2030 is 500 gigawatt. But the question is asking maximum limit for free electricity. Free electricity ka they are asking, correct? So free electricity ka 300 unit is the correct answer for the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Any questions or doubt? The chat box is open. If you have any questions or queries, you can ask it. Absolutely, Hari. Chaliye. Other questions were asked from the SRI fund under the Ministry of MSME. There were questions on the cash prize of the Arjun Award. So this is a sport related news, static question related to a current affair update. Arjun Award was in news last year. Every year it is in news. So definitely questions can be asked from the cash amount. Whenever we discuss a particular award, for example, Gyanpeeth ka, it was being awarded recently. So you should be aware, Gyanpeeth ke andar mein what is the cash amount? What is the memento? Which goddess is present? Vag Devi, basically Saraswati is being present here. So all type of award, you should be aware about the things that are being given alongside the title. So for Arjun Award, I think it is 15 lakh rupees, correct? Next is again a sport related question. Position of Virat Kohli as far as the scorer in the test cricket is concerned. I do not follow sports very much, but I think it must be fourth or fifth. I think it is fourth. Virat Kohli. Sachin Tendulkar is having at I think 15,000 something runs. Rahul Dravid must also be there in this particular list. So Virat Kohli has not performed very well in the Test cricket. He's a very mediocre player as far as the Test cricket. He's exceptional player as far as the ODI is concerned. So in Test, I think he must be either on fourth or fifth. You can check the number. I think he has retired also. I've not been following cricket from last 10 years, so I do not know. So you can check it once. 16 is about the PSB announced the complete waiver of service charge for the non-ment. Acha, which public sector banks have announced the complete waiver of service charge for non-maintenance of minimum balance? If you're not maintaining minimum balance, so there were two banks. Firstly, I think it was done by SBI, and then later Canara Bank has also declared this. Two banks were there. Now it depends upon the option. We do not have the option. The students do not tell us the option. They cannot absolutely retain the options. So whatever was, if Canara Bank was there, Canara Bank was the latest, because I think it took this decision in 25 only, 24 or 25, 25 I think. On which date International Day of Women in Maritime observed globally to promote gender equality and highlight women's contribution in maritime sector? It is not asking, you have to be very much patient in reading the questions also. Question is not asking the day of International Day of Women. It is International Day of Women in Maritime. So it is, I think, 18th of May. 18th of May. Maximum single transaction limit allowed for a small value offline digital payment, 500 rupees is the value. Correct? Again, economy, finance related news. All right. This was 17 was from the important days. Question was also asked from this credit guarantee schemes, CGT, MSME, because Iran and this we have been involved. Credit guarantee coverage structure of micro enterprises. What is the maximum extent of guarantee coverage provided for the micro loan up to 5 lakh rupees? तो ये आपसे क्वेश्चन यहाँ पर पूछा गया था. Next is, which department under Ministry of Finance is responsible for managing government equity in central public sector enterprises and handling the disinvestment receipt? Again, from the finance portion, a question was basically being asked. Mission Life के ऊपर से there was a question. So this is initiative related. Schemes, initiative we have combined. There were 15%, around 12 to 15% question. So Mission Life was also being asked there. International Moon Day, second question on day. Women in Maritime, second is International Moon Day. Although they have given you the time period, they are asking the historic space milestone. Correct? Specific coin denomination in India are currently categorized as uncurrent. Which specific coin denomination are categorized as uncurrent coins and withdrawn from the active circulation? NAFIT के ऊपर भी there was a question, as I have discussed in the classification right now about the AIFIs or the DFIs. NAFIT was also being asked here. It is asking about the time period of the establishment. Correct? चलिए, International Solar Alliance, it has been in news. Why? Because US has recently withdrew from, last year it has withdrew from International Solar Alliance also, and IRENA from IRENA also, I think it has taken away its candidature, correct? So International Solar Alliance was jointly launched by India and France during United Nations Climate Change Conference. So a question was related to that, which was being asked in the examination. Any questions related to these? I hope the distribution of question pattern you are recognizing, which areas and which type of questions are being asked. Saving bank account holder are entitled to how many free financial and non-financial transaction per month? In the non-metro, 5 transactions are there. Who is the author of the volume book compilation titled Changing India, which reflect India's economic evolution and foreign policy? Changing India, I think it is Prime Minister Manmohan Singh Saab. I'm not 100% sure. Try to check it once. Check it on once on internet. I cannot open the internet currently because this window will disappear. So if you have mobile phones, check it. If it is something else, you can tell me in the comment section, because I'm 85% sure it was probably Mr. Dr. Singh. Next is IWAI expanded its operational footprint and revenue infrastructure network by increasing its field offices and center to 29 from which previous count. Pehle, there was addition. We have heard the addition that there were around 17 or 18 new additions were being done. So previous number must have been 10 or 11. It must be, I think, 11. Correct? Recently, there was also news on National Waterway Second. The lighting part was being done. Mr. Sarbanand Sonowal was also there, the Minister for Ports, Waterways, etc. To commemorate 90 years of establishment of the RBI, which nationwide campaign or competition was launched by RBI for undergraduate students? This I am not sure. Last year ka hai this is. I think it was some quiz. The name was also, I think, RBI quiz, but I am not 100% certain. Next is, in which Indian city was country's first real-time gold ATM, which dispenses physical gold coin directly, installed by Gold Shikha? It was Hyderabad. This was also current affair related question, but it was Hyderabad. Now awards के ऊपर से भी there was a question. ठीक है, पद्म विभूषण अवार्डी पब्लिक अफेयर्स एंड सोशल वर्क के अंदर में this was being asked. Total number of declared tiger reserves in Madhya Pradesh. Again, this is a question from the environment ecology portion. इस स्कीम के ऊपर से there is another question, किसान विकास पात्र सर्टिफिकेट. ठीक है. Then we have a question related to, you can say, national state related news. Kamla Dham के ऊपर से there was a question, right? CGT MSc, I think we have already discussed. It is probably reported twice. Next is, in which year World Press Freedom Day proclaimed by United Nations General Assembly? Then there was a question related to the banking portal, mandatory deadline. I hope you have heard about this. The latest news this year in the month of April was that RBI was being awarded internationally for this initiative. है ना? .bank.in portal. Earlier you used to see SBI.in. Now most of them have been standardized to a new, you can say, protocol where .bank.in has been used. Correct? So deadline it was asking for the previous year. I think it was October if I'm not mistaken. According to the CARE Edge rating report evaluating economic fitness and infrastructure program, which state has ranked the first? Again, state related news. One of them were state related news. LTV के ऊपर से there was a question. Correct? Defense related question. Which surface short range ballistic missile developed by DRDO was showcased on Republic Day? Last Republic Day they are asking. 25 में they are asking. 41st का what is the maximum total wallet balance for the UPI Lite? As I have mentioned, UPI के ऊपर से there will be 100%. Digital wallet के ऊपर से there will be certainly at least a couple of questions. UPI 1, 2, 3, UPI Lite, any question definitely is going to be there. Or if there is some new update about some product of NPCI, FASTag के ऊपर if there is a new update, there will be a question related to that. As I have mentioned in the beginning, SLR, CRR, CRR के ऊपर से the ratios पे से भी there will be one question which will be asked. Correct? Merchandise export basket, which product last year has the largest share as far as the merchandise export is concerned? This year in the report, the jewelry, है ना? Jewelry was basically seeing a highest amount of growth. I think it was 48% growth that it saw because of the demand. है ना? It is asking from the last year, and it is not asking growth wise. It is asking volume wise, which was the largest category as far as the physical goods in the export category is concerned. All right. What else we have? स्वामित्व scheme पे से we have a question. RBI के ऊपर से भी there were good amount of question. If we segregate RBI standalone, RBI पे से भी there are at least 3 to 4 question. Although we have merged RBI in banking and financial related updates as well. Who became the second Indian batsman after Kohli to complete 12,000 run in T20 last year? T20 cricket. Okay. So sports space, I think it was not 2, it was 3 question. It was 3 question. So we have to update that in the compilation. UNGA declared International Year which environment theme? This is also important event. Sovereign gold bonds pe se bhi there were question. Rare earth element pe se bhi there were question. So these were the areas. One thing that we have to change, I think, is sports may we have kept 2. There were instead 3 questions from the sports. Virat Kohli pe se bhi there were 2 questions. And apart from that, this Arjun award, acha, now that is the confusion. है ना? Awards related to sport. So should we keep that in the award category or should we keep it in the sports category? So if we keep it in the sports category, then there will 3 news, but we have kept it in the awards category, award and honors. So there will be 2 news. So this is the final breakdown of all the questions that were being asked. For this year also, if time permits, in the paid batches, so we are having 10 practice session, which is starting from 17th only. 17th of August, Monday, 4 days later, I think today it is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Friday or Thursday? Friday it is. So 4 days later, we are beginning 10 super practice kit for the Indian Overseas Bank LBO question. And for the PSB, I hope those who have seen our video on the main channel of Oliveboard, most of the current affairs were from our discussion. Most of the current affairs were from our discussion. We have practiced around, I think a marathon was being shot, 300 questions were being practiced. Out of those 300 questions, the questions which came in the examination, 68 or 78% of the questions were from that particular session. So this time also we are trying for the IOB LBO. Batches have already started. If you want to take the part, you can join the batches standalone, or you can also take part in the Banking Super Elite. The good part about Banking Super Elite is that there is not much difference between the price of Banking Super Elite and the individual batches. But now the season of examination has already started. SBI clerk notification is already there. I have just shot a video for the IBPS PO second reserve list that has been released. Admit card for this year is also awaited, correct? So from SBI, PO, SBI clerk, IBPS PO, IBPS clerk and RRB, all the notifications are underway. So if you are appearing and preparing for multiple examination, it is best advised that you opt for the Banking Super Elite, because this way it is more economical for you. You participate in 3 to 4 standalone batches. The price is at least 40 times higher than the Banking Super Elite. If you take part in the Banking Super Elite, you get access to all the examination. Insurance examinations are also underway. Notification might be coming anytime. So all the examination access you get at one time, and you have access in both the languages, bilingual and English. Test is also there. One very important thing is that you get F2F session. For example, just after your session, I'm having a 6 p.m. session where mentorship will be done and the questions will be taken from students on the Zoom session. है ना, live session में तो we answer the question related doubts, but for other doubts there is a separate session. Also Banking Super Practice Kit, which I have discussed in the beginning of the session. I personally like this particular feature a lot. Why? Because most of the time when we used to prepare for most of the examination or any examination in the country, it is not only about the one day examination. The problem is that one medicine fit all concept is run by most of the institute. That they do what? They have one type of question, the same question for 10 different examination. But IOB, the type of current affair or the type of awareness GA question that they ask, or other section they ask, it is different from, for example, IBPS PO questions, correct? So similarly, SBI clerk and IBPS PO are different. SBI clerk and IBPS clerk are different. So most of the examination have a particular niche, certain areas from where they ask typical type of question in a particular way. So to solve that particular problem, we have introduced this Banking Super practice kit, which is added in the Banking Super Elite batches, where you can select your subject first, quant, reasoning, English or current affair. Then you can select the topic. After selecting the topic, you can select the level. If you are just starting, you do not want to get panic attack. Correct? So it is advisable for anybody who is joining the batches immediately to start only with the beginner level. Otherwise, if you see the advanced PO level questions, mains level question, it will be almost like a disappointment for you, which we certainly do not want. After you have completed few sessions, if you have attended classes for a couple of months, then you are ready for moving to the further level. Also, the previous year questions, their solution, speed improvement and revision related sessions are also included. So that is the best part. So if you're planning, you can definitely join. Currently, I think I have not updated the brochure, but on the occasion of 15th of August, all the courses are at 50 to 60% off till midnight of 15th of August. Till at the stroke of the midnight hour, but not on the 15th, on the 16th, till the 16th. So that offer is available there. Correct? So thank you very much. If you do have any question related to this particular session, you can put that in the comment section. All the questions and the solution that we have discussed, you will be able to download the complete PDF on the Oliveboard application. Go in the YouTube section, it will be present for next 7 days. Then it will be replaced with the PDF of the next session. So try to download it. For that, you have to first register on